Hello everybody, my name's Gareth Evans. Today in this video we're going to be learning the fingerstyle guitar arrangement of Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. This is my arrangement of the song and I'll be teaching it you in this video note for note. So I think we can get started with the guitar lesson now. The intro goes like this. Okay, so this sequence here, we begin here on the 8th fret of the 5th string, 5th fret of the 3rd, 6th fret of the 2nd, and 8th of the 1st. Okay, after you play each of those notes in succession, come down to the 7th fret on the 1st. Okay, and then you come to 5th fret on the 4, 5th fret on the 3rd, 3rd fret on the 2nd, and 5th fret on the 1st. So it's 5, 5, 3, 5. Play them each in turn like that, and down to the 3rd fret on the 1st. So what we have, the first two bars, okay, so try and let all those notes ring as much as possible. And then we move to this next position. So we've got 2nd fret on the 4th, 4th fret on the 3rd, 2nd fret on the 2nd, and 5th fret on the 1st. And then we have 3 single notes on the 1st string, 3rd fret, 1st fret, and open. Okay, and the very last bar. So you've got the 3rd fret on the 2nd and the 4th string as a pinch, and then the open 1st down to the 1st fret on that 2nd string. So those are the last two bars, so that's bar 3 and 4. So altogether, bar 1 through 4. And then the second time through, bar 5 through 8. Okay, there's an extra 3 notes in there at the end. It's just a 3rd fret on the 2nd, open 1st, and 1st fret on the 2nd. So after the, you've got an extra 3 notes. Okay, and that is the whole of the intro. That's bar 1 through 8 done. Let's move on to the verse now, looking at bar 9 and onwards. Okay, that's the first line, and the rest of it is just a variation on that. We begin here, the 3rd fret of the 5th, 4th, and 2nd string. So if you fret it like this, it makes it a bit easier. So you play those 3, 5, 4, and 2 together, but separate them out a little bit so you've got a bit of an arpeggio effect there, or finger roll. And what you do then, with your little index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, you pull off from 3 to 1 on that 2nd string. Okay? Trying not to catch that 1st string. Okay, after that, it comes to a regular C shape, so it's the 1st fret on the 2nd as you were, 2nd fret on the 4th, 3rd fret on the 5th. And then you play 5, 4, and 2. Okay, after that, you play a series of single notes, 2, 4, 3. Okay, that is bar number 9. Okay, back to the original position now. Play them all together now, 5, 4, and 2. And and just lift off from 3 to 1 on the second string. Just play that first fret on the second string. And then back to that C shape and play 5, 4, and 2. Okay, so that's how it goes. And then another 2, 4, 3 again. Okay, so that's bar number 10. Number 9 and 10 together. Okay, next bar number 11. Just a straight pick on each of those 2 positions. On the 3rd fret on everything position, and then the C position. And then the 2, 4, 3 again at the end. So that's just as straight as you can there on bar number 11. And then that's bar number 12. As usual, you play 5, 4, and 2. And then the open first. And then down to the C position, you play 5, 4, and then 1 again open. You don't play the 2 here. Okay, and then the sequence here, the 3 notes this time, is 4, 3, 4. But it's like 4, 3, with obviously the 4th fretted on the 2nd fret. When you play the 4 again, you transition into the next position, so the 4 is open. So it's, and try play it lightly, so it's, and then back in again. Okay, so that again, bar number 12, just recap. And then back in. So, bar number 11 and 12 together. Okay, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that I'm using a technique here on the bass notes, which is the thumb notes, called palm muting, okay? So what this does, it dulls the noise or the sound from the bass note and makes it sound more like a double bass or something more weighty, so it doesn't ring out so much. It doesn't cloud or muddy the sound of the rest of the notes. So that's why I use this technique, although it is optional. So bear in mind, if you're playing it straight like this, okay, that sounds a little bit different to that. You can perhaps hear the difference there. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing the palm of my hand just on that bass note, trying not to mute the 4th string as well. So we're muting it slightly on the 5th, but not too much or it'll be dead. So the palm of your hand or the heel of your hand has to come onto the string just a little bit, just beyond the bridge at the bottom. And that's how you get that sound. You will have to experiment with the positioning of your hand to get this right. But again, with practice, you can get it. But like I said, it is optional. If you do want to leave that out, then continue to leave it out. It does sound better with it. And this continues through the rest of the song as well. And I will mention it as we go through the bridge and the chorus too, about where you are muting and what strings you're muting. It's generally the thumb pluck or the thumb string that you're muting in general. And if you just follow that as a general rule, you'll be fine. Okay, so let's move on now to bar 13 through 16. Again, we begin like that, just a straight pluck on those 2 positions. But this time the 3 notes are open first, the 4th, and then the 3rd. Okay, that's bar 13, and then we've got 2 bars of the same, 14 and 15, which are just straight picking on the 5, 4, 2, and then 5, 4, 2 again, and then the picking 2, 4, 3. So that's 2 of them for bar 14 and 15. And then bar 16, you do the same again to begin with. The 3, 3, 3 on the 5, 4, and 2. Followed by the open first. And then down to the C shape, 5, 4, and then the open first together. Now you play the open 3rd and the open 6. Obviously open 6 is muted. And then into the bridge, which is the next section. So that's bar 16. Let's recap bar 13 through to 16 now. Goes like this. Okay, so that is the second line of verse 1. Let's recap the whole of the verse now. Let's look at the 8 bars from 9 to 16. The whole verse 1 goes like this. Okay, the next section is the bridge, and that runs from bar 17 to bar number 23, as you can see on the tabs. And we play in this. And that is the bridge the first time. It's slightly different the second time, but when we get to there, I'll show you how that goes. So we're beginning on bar 17 there. What we have here is an F shape and a G shape in bar chord form, but I use the thumb over the top method. So you've got thumb over the top on the first fret of the 6th string, then you've got 3, 2, 1 on the 4, 3 and 2, 4th, 3rd and 2nd string. Okay, those 4 notes all together. Okay, remember to palm mute the 6th. And then move everything up 2 frets. So you're on the 3rd fret of the 3rd fret of the 6th, 5th fret of the 4th, 4th fret of the 3rd, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, of the 2nd. So you've got those 2. And then you play 4, 3, and then open 4. And that is the end of bar 17. So. And then to the next bar, 18. Plays like that. So you come to an E minor position here. We've got open 6, 2nd fret on the 4th, open 3rd and 2nd. You play them all together. So it's 6, 4, 3 and 2 all together. You play the 4th string on its own. After that, back to the F and play the 6, 4, 3 and 2. Followed by the 4, 3, 4 continuation, or 3 notes. So it's... So that's how bar 18 goes. Bar 17 with 18. So both together. Now bar 19, you play that. So you play a pinch here on 6 and 4 together in that F shape. So it's 1st fret of the 6th, 3rd fret of the 4th. You play the 2nd string on the 1st fret. You pull that off to open. After that, 3rd fret of the 6th, a straight pick, pluck on the 1st fret of the 2nd, and then a straight pick on the open 2nd. So it's... And then after that, the open 3rd. So it's... And then, after that, you play... it's a bar number 20, you play a pinch on open 6, 2nd fret on the 4th. Open 6 on its own after that. And then continue with the 4, 3, 4 again. First time you play the 4, it's got on the fretted on the 2nd fret, and then the open on the 2nd time you play the 4th. Like that. So it's... So bar 19 and 20. So 17 through 20 goes like this. Okay, next bar 21 to 23, you start the same again with those 2 positions. And this time the sequence is a little bit different with these 3 notes, so you're playing 4, 3 and then 2 open. So the 4 is on the 5th fret, the 3 is on the 4th fret and the 2 is open. And then that is bar number 22 to the E minor again. You play 6, 4, 3 and 2 all together. And then up to the 1st fret and the 2nd, you play that. Back to the F shape, you play 6, 4, 3, 2 again. Then you play 4, 3, 4 again. That's bar number 22, so 21 and 22 together. And then bar number 23 is that. So in the F shape, as you still are, you're playing a pinch on 6 and 4, followed by a pluck on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And then here, so the 3rd fret on the 6th, open 3rd, 1st fret on the 2nd, play them all together, but you separate them out a little bit, playing the 6th first, followed by 3 and then 2, in like a finger roll or arpeggiated pluck. And then you play the open 2nd, so it's, and that's bar number 23 with the previous 2 bars. That's what you do. So the whole of the bridge, or the bridge the first time, from 17 to 23, plays like this. Okay, the next section to learn is verse number 2. So it's the second time we played the verse. Structure's just the same. The only difference is a few of the notes here and there. So I'll go through it now. 24 through 27 to begin. We're playing that first, so it's the 3, 3, 3 on the 5, 4, 2. Back to the C shape, you play 5, 4 and 2 again. This time, you play 4, 1 open, 3 open. Okay, bar 25 next. You play that, so you play that 1 note in between those 2 shapes, which is the 1st fret on the 2nd string. Okay, then after that you play 4, 2, 3. So that's bar 25, so 24 and 25 together. Okay, bar 26 is a straightforward pluck, pluck, and then back to the 2, 4, 3 like we were doing a lot earlier. And bar 27, which is exactly the same as what we did at the end of the first line in in verse 1. So okay, so whole of 24 through 27 plays like this. Okay, bar 28 through 31 is slightly easier because we're just doing 3 bars which are identical. It's the easy version of the bar, so it's pluck, pluck, 1, 4, 3. Do it once, twice, 3 times. Okay, the only difference there is the last time you play this. After that, open 3rd, open 6th. You've got an extra note in here this time, which is the 2nd string again, still fretted on the 1st frets. Okay, so that's bar number 31. Like I said, the only difference between that and the end of verse number 1 is that extra one note right at the very end. So the whole of verse number 2, then I'll play it through slowly. Again, you can refer to the tabs if you want to know specifically, if you want to read it and see where the differences are and what note comes when and where, then the differences are easy to read than to explain. So I'll just run through it now though. So next up we are into bridge number 2. We're looking at bars 32 through 37. And okay, it's kind of the same to begin with. Well, it is exactly the same to begin with. Those first 2 bars are exactly the same. And now we're playing that, so that's bar number 34 and into bar number 35. So to be in bar 34, you've got a pinch on 6 and 4, first fret on the 6th, third fret of the 4, and then the first fret on the 2nd, and then you've got 3 notes there, third fret on the 6th, open 3rd, first fret on the 2nd together, and then the open 2nd, and then the open 3rd. And then to there, which begins bar 35, open 6, 2nd fret on the 4 together. After that, you play 6 on its own again, and then do a 4, 3, 4 in that same position, 2nd fret of the 4th. So it's now, you do that same sequence again for bar 36, which is the pinch on 4 and 6, 2, 6, 3 and 2 together, open 2, open 3, and then to the open 6, open 2 together, beginning bar 37. Now we play that. After we do the pinch, we play 2nd fret on the 3rd, quickly to the F shape, so it's a 1st fret on the 6th, 3rd fret on the 4th, 2nd fret on the 3rd, sorry, and you block them all together. So it's and then into the next section, which is actually the chorus, but I'm gonna leave that here. It begins at the end of bar number 37, which is technically part of bridge 2, but it belongs to the chorus, so that whole melody section fits in with the chorus. So I'll deal with that then when we move on. But for now, let's just recap what we've done for the bridge, and I'll teach you that chorus bit. So from bar 32 onwards, we play this. Okay, and that is the bridge number 2. So let's now move to the chorus. So this, like I said, begins at the end of bar number 37. Okay, so that is the sequence. So we begin, let's break that down so it's a lot easier. It is a lot easier when you break it down. It looks a lot more complicated than it is. Okay? We play that, so we begin here. It's 3 notes at the same time, 3 times in a row. So we've got open 4, first fret on the 2, open 1 as a pinch. And then we come here to the 3rd fret on the 1, 3rd fret on the 2, the 2nd fret on the 4th. Okay? And then that third shape here is just to the third fret on the fifth to replace the fourth string. Everything else is the same, which is the third fret on the 2 and the 1. Okay, obviously trying to mute the fourth string here for these 2 bass notes. And then muting the fifth there. Again, all these thumb notes should be muted if you can do that. Don't worry too much if they're not. Okay, after that, we're into bar number 38. So that's the sequence there into bar number 38. We've got a third fret on the 6 to begin. And then you've got the open 1 and 2. Back onto the third fret of the 1 and 2 and play that twice. Okay, so that is that. Followed by a slap into the strings. Try and do this quite softly. Don't smack it too hard. It's trying to be pretty soft with this. And then you do open first and second, and then onto the first and second again for 1, just for now, on their own, to finish this sequence. So we've got okay, and the whole next sequence belongs together because it's one kind of. It's a lot easier to learn it as one piece. So. Okay, once you've got that, which is end of bar 37 and the majority of bar 38, we've got the next sequence which begins at the very end of bar number 38. Goes like that. Okay, so what we're doing here, we've got 6, 1 and 2 played together, all on the 3rd fret. And then you got the open 5th afterwards. And then what you do is you move these 2 fingers up 2 frets to the 5th fret on both, the 1st and 2nd, and you play them together with the 3rd fret on the 5th. So it's okay. Up to then the 7th fret on the 5th string. Use your middle finger for that one. And then you come here to finish, which is the 5th fret on the 2 and 3, and then the 7th fret on the 4. If you can mute that, if you can get your wrist in the right position for that bass note to be muted, then all for the better. If not, don't worry about it. So it's okay. After that, you got 3 single notes. So it's 7th fret of the 5th, 8th fret of the 6th, open 5th. So it's so that's the sequence, and then just work on that. Okay, what happens inevitably is when I'm playing this sequence, I'm getting a slide into that bass note here. That, okay, gives it a little bit of a different sound to that bass note rather than a straight bass note. Gives you extra time to get to the position and gives you a bit of a slide in there too to vary it up. So it's an option for you if you want to do it that way. Okay. Okay, so let's see how that fits in with the previous section we had. Okay, and hopefully that should make sense now that you've learned it in those two separate sections or 3 separate sections. Okay, so if you compartmentalize it like that, hopefully you'll get the sequence and pick it up a lot easier. And then after that, we've got bar 40 and 41. So we've got the first fret on the 6, and then you got 1 and 2 together with the 1st fret on the 2, then you got 1, 2, and 6 together. But this time up to the 3rd fret on the 6th string. You use your middle finger for this because you're gonna need to stretch here, or use your fingers intelligently. You play it once, and then you play the 6th string on its own. Now you need these 2 fingers free. That's why you need these 2 fingers free to come up to here, the 3rd fret of the 2nd, 4th fret of the 3rd. Okay. And then to the 3rd fret on the 5th, back to the 1st fret on the 2nd and open 1st. And then a pluck on the bass note straight after that too, again, 5th string. Okay, so that's the sequence. Try and get all those notes crisp and clear. So that is bar 40 and 41, pretty much. The only thing at the end of bar 41, got 2 slaps and then begin again. And that goes round for a total of 3 times. Okay, so that whole sequence goes 3 times. So I'll play it the first time. And again. Last time. So the very last line of the chorus, bar 50 through 53, we've got a different line which begins the same, ends the same, but the bit in the middle is completely different. So I'll go through it. Okay, so we've got, that's all the same, exactly the same, but now we've got okay, so this is very difficult. It's a lot of weird shapes, but it's the best way I could get to find to play the melody with the bass as well as the backing vocals. So there's a lot in here. There's three separate melodies, which is the bass, the melody of the vocal, and the backing vocal. So that's why it's hard. So we've got after the slap, you've got the open 1 and 2, and then the 12th fret on the 4th string. Okay? And then this shape, 10th fret of the 5th, 12th fret of the 4th, 13th fret of the 2nd, play all 3 together. So we've got, and that ends bar 50. Beginning bar 51, you've got open 5, that shape there, which is 8th fret on the 6th, 9th fret on the 3, and the 12th fret on the 2. Okay. That's the way I do it. I break it down, compartmentalize it, make it separate, and then work on these shapes as 2 and 3 shape sequences, and then glue them all together afterwards. So we've got, now we've got them 3 shapes. So we've got 7th fret on the 5th, 10th fret on the 2nd together. Okay. Up to here, the 12th fret on the 5th, 10th fret on the 4th, 13th fret on the 2nd. And then back down again to the original position, 7th fret on the 5th, 10th fret on the 2nd. Okay, so after that, you've got 8th fret on the 6th, open 5th, just as bass notes. Okay, and that concludes bar number 51. With the part just before it, we've got and that's it. Really simple, really. Okay, it's not simple at all, and it took me a lot of time. Just bear that in mind. If this doesn't come as easy to you as the rest of it, as I'm teaching you it, it's not supposed to. Otherwise, you would be a guitar genius. It took me 2 or 3 days of just drilling this section alone over and over and over and over and over and over again for maybe 10, 20 minutes at a time, maybe 2 or 3 times every single day, probably a lot more than that, for 2 or 3 days in a row. So it gives you some indication of how much I had to practice that specific section, that specific sequence of 2 seconds of a song in order for me to be able to play that sometimes correctly during the recording of the song. So I don't always get it right. But that is the extent that you have to go to in order to, you have to put your hand through the changes time and time again until the hand remembers, and you don't have to think about it too much, because that's just how you do it. So bear that in mind. Once you've got that, it's that section again. We've got, but this time you don't do any slapping, you just leave that open to finish off that chorus. So let's just do this last line then, bar 50 through 53. Okay, now let's move on. The next section is basically the intro again. It's called I called it the instrumental part, but it's just that part again, all the way through, as it was in the intro. No palm muting on the bass notes, everything open and clear and letting it all ring out. So that's great. That's bar 54 through 61, and that's how that goes. So next up is verse number 3, and again, it's pretty similar to the other one. In fact, the first half of it is the same as verse number 2, exactly the same, in fact, with all the notes the same. So that's bar 62 through 65, all the same as the second verse, or the beginning of the second verse. And next we've got a unique line. The very last line of verse 3 is a unique one. It's not played like this anywhere before, previously. So that's what we've got to begin with the first 2. So we've got the pinch, pinch, followed by 1, 4, 3. Okay, and after that, bar 67, pinch, pinch, and then you've got 4, 2, 3. Okay, so bar 66 and 67. Okay, and lastly 68 and 69. Okay, slightly different there because it just slightly different timing. So you've got the pinch here on the 3-3-3 on 5, 4 and 2, followed by the first fret on the second on its own, and then that C position 5, 4 and 2 as a pinch. Now you've got the second string on the first fret, open third fret on the second string now, and then a pinch on 5 and 4, both on the 3rd fret, then the open first, and then 1, 4 and 5 on the open first, 2nd fret on the 4, 3rd fret on the 5. Okay, so that's the sequence. Followed by the open 3rd, open 6, and then into the next bridge. So let's just recap 68 and 69. That's that's how that goes. So the whole of the second line of verse 3, 66 to 69, if you're looking on the tabs, goes like this. Okay, so next up, bridge number 3 is the same as bridge number 2. And chorus number 2 is the same as chorus number 1. So I won't really play that. I'll just explain that to you. It's exactly the same. So it's copy and pasted essentially. And that's how I did the tabs. I wrote it down once and copied and pasted it because it is the same. Until the end of chorus the second time, which is here, you just leave off at the end of that chorus. And instead of at the end of chorus 1, you go into the intro bit again, which I called the instrumental. The end of chorus 2 now, you're just going back into another bridge. And we've done that before. So it's literally a carbon copy again of the other previous 2 bridges. So bridge 2, 3 and 4 are all the same. And chorus 3 is the same as chorus 1 and 2 as well. So we're just again copying and pasting. Look to the song or listen to the song itself or my cover of the song, or look on the tab sheet for the structure because it's all there. And at the very end of chorus number 3, which is this very last line, we've got a slight difference because we're leading into the outro. So this line here is what we're looking at. So from this, which is the difficult section, and then we've got the very end, which is here, which leads into the outro. So it's part of the outro, so it's technically part of the outro, but it's in the tabs as the end of the chorus 3, if that makes sense. So from there onwards, we're doing this. Okay, so that's what it is, or that's how it sounds. And what we're doing is 3rd fret on the 2nd, 4th string open. 2nd fret on the 4th, open 1 together. And now 1st fret on the 2nd, 3rd fret on the 5th. So that's the 3 pinch sequence. And now we have bar 114. 114 and half of 115. Goes like that. So we've got the F shape, 1st fret on the 6th, 3rd fret on the 4, 2nd fret on the 3. Play them all together. And then the 1st fret on the 2nd afterwards. You go then to the 3rd fret of the 6th, 3rd fret of the 4th, open 3rd, 1st fret of the 2nd. You play that as a finger roll, so it's arpeggiated. They're all notes are separated just slightly. And then open 2nd, back onto the 1st fret of the 2nd. Okay. And then you play 3rd fret on the 5th, 2nd fret on the 4th, open 3rd together as a pinch. And then another bass note afterwards just on its own, which is the 3rd fret on the 5th. So we've got we're doing that sequence 4 times in a row. That's 2, 3, 4. At the end of the 4th, you're just doing the bass line. Okay, everything else is the same. Instead of doing the pinches, you're just doing the bass line instead. So essentially you do it 4 times with the pinches. You do it 1 time with just the bar, bass note, sorry. Follow through again. Exactly the same. That's this bit here, number 1, 2, 2. And then after the That's the 5th time. You've got 3 more times, but like you've got bass note, simple straight 1 pick bass note with the artificial harmonic for the melody. So how you do that? 1st fret on the 6th, and then you play the pinch harmonic there. So to do the pinch harmonic, what you do is you fret the 1st fret on the 2nd string, and then you're touching the string of the 2nd string here. If I can put that in shot for you, like that. And then maybe bring that over, yeah. So if I put that in shot for you like that, so you're fretting the 1st fret on the 2nd string, and then you're coming over here and you're touching the 2nd string above the 13th fret, so directly above the wire there, as you can see. That would be too high up. That's like the 14th fret. That would be in between the frets, so you don't want to do it there. You want to do it directly above the wire, not too low, not too high. Directly above the wire, you want to touch the string. And then behind it, if you can see in the other camera, if you pluck it, I use a fingernail to pluck it, so it allows for a higher volume. So you pluck the string, and then pull that finger away, so you're not touching the string anymore. Be careful not to push the string in. You don't want to push the string in. You just want to be touching it lightly. Plucking and pulling away at the same time. You might get that if you're not putting your finger on long enough, and you might get a duller sound if you're leaving your finger on too long. But generally, if you leave your finger on too long, it's not so bad. So remember, you're fretting the 1st fret of the 2nd string, you're touching above the 13th, and you're plucking behind it with another finger. And that's how you get the artificial harmonic technique. So after you've got that, you come to the 3rd fret on the 6th, you play the pinch this time with 6 and 2 together, obviously with the pinch harmonic on the 2. What you do now, you lift off the 2nd fret, sorry, the 2nd string, lift off the 2nd string, so the 2nd string's now open. You just play a pinch harmonic on above the 12th fret now, so if I move guitar back into shot there, instead of being above the 13th, you're now above the 12th, and just play that once, and then put your finger back on, and then come back above the 13th again and play it there. So it's, if you can see that, so it's, and then that final bass note is the 3rd fret on the 5th string, and then you repeat that 3 times, and that's it. That's it. Huge thanks to all my patrons for supporting me bring this content. Let me know what song you want me to cover and teach next down in the comments below, and I'll see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.